Declassified documents reveal the CIA's decades-long obsession with the paranormal. But the real question is, what did they uncover about life beyond death? This isn't just about government secrets. It's about challenging everything you think you know about existence. If consciousness survives death, how does that change the way we live? How does it reshape our understanding of our potential? The story begins in the Cold War, a time of intense geopolitical tension. Amidst the cloak and dagger operations and the nuclear arms race, the CIA quietly launched a series of extraordinary research programs. Driven by the fear that the Soviets were exploring psychic warfare, the US government embarked on its own quest to understand and harness the power of the paranormal. This quest led them down paths previously unexplored by mainstream science, into the realms of remote viewing, altered states of consciousness, and the very nature of reality itself. Programs like the Stargate Project sought to train psychic spies, while others delved into the mysteries of out-of-body experiences and the potential for human consciousness to transcend physical limitations. But were these programs simply Cold War paranoia, or did they stumble upon something truly groundbreaking? At the heart of this investigation lies the concept of consciousness itself. What is it? Where does it come from? And does it cease to exist when the body dies? These are questions that have plagued philosophers and scientists for centuries, but the CIA's research, particularly the infamous Gateway process, suggests a radical new perspective. Declassified documents hint at the possibility that consciousness is not confined to the brain, but is instead a fundamental aspect of the universe, capable of existing independently of the physical body. This notion challenges the very foundations of modern science, forcing us to reconsider our understanding of life, death, and everything in between. Throughout this exploration, we'll be drawing connections between the CIA's findings and the wisdom of ancient spiritual traditions. Is it merely a coincidence that remote viewing techniques bear a striking resemblance to shamanic practices? Or that the altered states of consciousness induced by the Gateway process echo the meditative states achieved by Buddhist monks? Furthermore, we'll examine the surprising parallels between these investigations and the mind-bending world of quantum physics, where concepts like entanglement and non-locality suggest that reality itself may be far stranger than we ever imagined. Could the observer effect in quantum physics hold a key to understanding the nature of consciousness and its connection to the universe? Prepare to have your beliefs challenged. We'll delve into compelling near-death experiences, exploring the common themes and profound implications they hold for our understanding of life after death. We'll also investigate the role of the pineal gland, often referred to as the seat of the soul, and its potential link to higher states of consciousness. And finally, we'll dare to entertain the possibility that our reality is not what it seems, venturing into the realm of the simulation theory and its potential explanations for the CIA's discoveries. What if the secrets to life and death have been hiding in plain sight, waiting for us to awaken to the true nature of our existence? Join us as we uncover what the CIA found when they studied life after death and what it means for you. So, the CIA was delving into these uncharted territories of the mind. One of their primary tools was something called the Gateway process. What exactly is this Gateway process, and why was the CIA so interested in it? The Gateway process, at its core, is a system designed to achieve altered states of consciousness. It proposes, through specific techniques, a method to escape the confines of the physical body and interact with different dimensions of reality. The stated goals, as outlined in declassified documents, include enhancing focus, promoting mental and emotional stability, and most tantalizingly, achieving out-of-body experiences and remote viewing capabilities. But the real kicker, its methods center around the use of binaural beats and hemispheric synchronization. Think of it as a kind of sonic key, unlocking hidden doorways within the mind. But how effective is this sonic key, and what did the CIA documents reveal about its potential? Were they simply chasing a phantom, Or did they stumble onto something that could rewrite our understanding of consciousness? To clarify, the gateway process involves using sound frequencies to harmonize the brain's hemispheres, creating a state of coherence that proponents believe allows one to bypass the limitations of ordinary perception and access deeper levels of awareness. Specific techniques involve resonance, energy manipulation, and guided visualization, all carefully orchestrated to induce altered states. It's about learning to control and direct your consciousness, using sound as the catalyst. So the question arises, is the gateway process a legitimate tool for unlocking the mysteries of consciousness, or merely a sophisticated form of self-hypnosis? Now, let's turn our attention to the declassified CIA documents themselves. What secrets do they hold about the gateway process? Analyzing excerpts from these documents reveals some truly mind-bending claims. The documents discuss the potential for out-of-body experiences, where consciousness can separate from the physical body and travel to distant locations. They also explore the possibility of remote viewing, the ability to perceive events and information from afar, seemingly without the use of physical senses. But the most provocative claim of all may be the notion of time travel. The idea that consciousness can transcend the boundaries of space and time and access information from the past or future. A highlighted passage in one document speaks of the holographic universe and how the gateway process could potentially allow individuals to tap into this vast reservoir of information. It suggests that reality itself may be a kind of projection, and that our consciousness is capable of interacting with this projection in ways we don't yet fully understand. Such claims inevitably challenge our conventional understanding of time and space. This begs the question: were these simply theoretical musings of scientists and intelligence officers, or did the CIA actually find evidence to support these extraordinary claims? Were they seriously exploring the possibility of psychic spies traveling through time and space? To understand the full context of the gateway process, we need to delve into its origins at the Monroe Institute. This is where Robert Monroe, a pioneer in the field of out-of-body experiences, conducted his groundbreaking research. Monroe's early experiments focused on exploring altered states of consciousness through sound and vibration. He developed specific audio techniques, including binaural beats, designed to synchronize the brain's hemispheres and induce deep states of relaxation and expanded awareness. It was through this research that the gateway process was born. Monroe's work paved the way for the CIA's investigations, providing a framework for understanding how consciousness could potentially operate outside the confines of the physical body. The real question is, how did Monroe's personal experiences and early experiments shape the development of the gateway process? And what insights did he gain into the nature of consciousness itself? What started as a personal exploration of consciousness quickly became a focal point for government research into previously unimagined realms. And how much of what we know about the process today stems from Monroe's initial research? The gateway process, with its claims of out-of-body experiences and time travel, directly challenges the materialist paradigm that dominates modern science. The materialist view holds that consciousness is solely a product of brain activity, an epiphenomenon that arises from the complex interactions of neurons. But the gateway process suggests that consciousness may exist independently of the physical body, that it's not merely a byproduct of brain activity, but a fundamental aspect of the universe itself. If this is true, then it has profound implications for our understanding of reality. It would mean that our consciousness is not limited to our physical bodies, that it can interact with the world in non-local ways, transcending the boundaries of space and time. This directly clashes with conventional scientific views, painting a new picture of consciousness that goes beyond the confines of the brain. But what if our current understanding of the brain is incomplete? What if there are aspects of consciousness that science has yet to grasp? Beyond the gateway process, the CIA's exploration of the paranormal extended into another fascinating area: Remote viewing. What role did remote viewing play in the CIA's quest to understand consciousness, and what did they hope to achieve through this unusual form of espionage? The Stargate Project, a CIA-funded program that ran for over 2 decades, represents one of the most extensive investigations into remote viewing ever undertaken. Initially, the project was driven by the Cold War paranoia that the Soviets were developing psychic spies. The US government sought to match their efforts, hoping to gain a strategic advantage through the use of paranormal abilities. The Stargate Project aimed to train individuals to access information remotely, using only their minds. The ultimate goal was to gather intelligence on Soviet military activities, predict future events, and even gain insights into the thoughts and intentions of enemy leaders. But beyond the cloak and dagger intrigue, the Stargate Project also raised profound questions about the nature of consciousness and its potential to transcend the limitations of space and time. Were they successful in turning ordinary people into psychic spies? Or did the Stargate Project ultimately reveal the limits of remote viewing as a reliable intelligence-gathering tool? Key figures such as Ingo Swann and Hal Puthoff were instrumental in the Stargate Project. These researchers developed methodologies and techniques for conducting remote viewing experiments, establishing protocols for target selection, data collection, and analysis. Ingo Swann, a self-proclaimed psychic, played a crucial role in training other remote viewers and refining the techniques used in the program. Hal Puthoff, a physicist, provided the scientific framework for the project, attempting to understand the underlying mechanisms behind remote viewing. The methods involved a structured approach, wherein viewers were guided to quiet their minds and focus their attention on a specific target, often a distant location or object. They were then encouraged to describe what they perceived without relying on logical reasoning or prior knowledge. The challenge was to access information directly, bypassing the limitations of the physical senses. But was this truly a scientifically rigorous approach, or was it simply a form of guided imagination? How did Puthoff and Swann's backgrounds influence the development of remote viewing techniques, and what role did intuition play in the process? The Stargate Project produced a mix of successes and failures. In some cases, remote viewers were able to accurately describe distant locations or events, providing valuable intelligence to the CIA. For example, there are documented instances of remote viewers successfully describing a Soviet submarine base or a Chinese nuclear test site, offering details that could not have been obtained through conventional means. However, there were also instances where the data was inaccurate or inconclusive, leading to skepticism about the reliability of remote viewing. The question then arises: how do we reconcile the documented successes with the instances of failure? And what does this tell us about the true potential and limitations of remote viewing? Should we consider those accurate descriptions a coincidence? Or did the Stargate Project genuinely tap into something extraordinary? Remote viewing poses a direct challenge to our understanding of space and time, suggesting that consciousness may be able to access information regardless of distance or time. This concept aligns with the notion of non-locality in quantum physics, where particles can be entangled across vast distances, instantaneously influencing each other's states. Remote viewing could potentially be a manifestation of this same non-local connection, suggesting that consciousness is not bound by the limitations of physical reality. This opens some exciting, yet deeply complex questions. The idea that our minds can reach across vast distances and tap into information without any known physical connection raises some fundamental questions about the nature of reality. If remote viewing is indeed a real phenomenon, what does it tell us about the interconnectedness of everything in the universe and the very nature of space and time? Is consciousness the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of quantum entanglement? Now, let's consider near-death experiences, or NDEs. Beyond government-funded programs, Could these experiences offer insights into the survival of consciousness beyond bodily death? What common threads run through these accounts, and what can they potentially reveal about the nature of reality? Recurring themes emerge from NDE accounts: a life review, the tunnel of light, a feeling of unconditional love, and encounters with deceased loved ones. People often report a sense of profound peace and clarity, a feeling of being connected to something larger than themselves. "I felt like I was coming home," one experiencer reported. Another described being enveloped in a love so intense it was beyond anything I had ever known. These recurring motifs suggest a shared experience, hinting at a universal aspect of consciousness that transcends individual beliefs and cultural backgrounds. But are these experiences simply hallucinations caused by a dying brain? Or do they represent glimpses into another dimension of existence? Scientific studies on NDEs have attempted to unravel the mystery behind these experiences, exploring the physiological and psychological factors that may contribute to them. Some researchers have focused on the role of brain activity, suggesting that NDEs may be caused by a surge of electrical activity in the dying brain or by the release of certain neurotransmitters. Others have explored the psychological factors, such as the individual's beliefs, expectations, and emotional state. However, these studies have yet to fully explain the complex and profound nature of NDEs. While some researchers remain skeptical, attributing them to hallucinations or other neurological phenomena, others argue that they offer compelling evidence for the survival of consciousness beyond death. This then begs the question: how can science account for the consistency and depth of these experiences? And are we missing something fundamental in our current understanding of the brain and consciousness? The NDE of neurosurgeon Dr. Eben Alexander presents a particularly intriguing case. As a man of science, a trained neurosurgeon, Alexander had always been skeptical of NDEs. However, after experiencing a profound spiritual journey while in a coma, he underwent a complete shift in his beliefs. He describes traveling to a realm of pure love and light, encountering angelic beings, and gaining profound insights into the nature of reality. What makes his account so compelling is that he experienced this while his cortex was completely shut down, according to medical records. His experience challenges the notion that NDEs are simply hallucinations caused by brain activity. What can we learn from Dr. Alexander's experience? Does it offer irrefutable proof of an afterlife, or does it raise further questions about the limits of our scientific understanding? Ultimately, NDEs challenge conventional scientific views on death and consciousness, suggesting that consciousness may be able to survive the death of the physical body. They hint at the possibility that there's more to reality than we currently understand, that there may be higher dimensions or spiritual realms that our consciousness can access. They suggest that death may not be the end, but rather a transition to another state of existence. This idea directly confronts the materialist view that consciousness is solely a product of brain activity, opening the door to a more expansive and interconnected understanding of reality. Do NDEs provide concrete evidence of an afterlife, or are they a reflection of our deepest hopes and fears about what lies beyond death? Could the answer lie in understanding the role of the pineal gland, often referred to as the seat of the soul? So, could the pineal gland, this tiny, mysterious organ, be the key that unlocks the doors of perception, the link between our physical reality and something far greater? We've traversed the realms of the gateway process, where sound becomes the key to unlocking altered states. Witness the Stargate project's forays into remote viewing, defying the constraints of space and time, and pondered the profound implications of near-death experiences, glimpses beyond the veil of mortality. Each of these avenues, explored and sometimes funded by the CIA, hints at a reality far more complex and interconnected than we typically perceive. These aren't isolated anomalies, but rather threads weaving together a new tapestry of understanding. And these threads lead us to a pivotal question: How do these findings challenge the very bedrock of what we consider to be real? The Gateway process, in its pursuit of transcending physical limitations, echoes ancient meditative practices aimed at dissolving the ego and accessing higher states of consciousness. Remote viewing, with its defiance of spatial boundaries, mirrors the quantum phenomenon of non-locality, where particles are instantaneously connected regardless of distance. And near-death experiences, with their recurring themes of love, light, and interconnectedness, resonate with spiritual teachings that speak of a universal consciousness that underlies all existence. The simulation theory emerges as a tantalizing framework for understanding these seemingly disparate phenomena. Could our reality be a construct, a carefully designed program, and if so, what does that imply about our place within it? It's a puzzle, and the pieces are starting to come together, demanding we reevaluate everything we thought we knew. Therefore, it is imperative that we understand how this all ties together and what the ramifications truly are. Now, let's dive deeper into the rabbit hole and explore how these findings challenge some of our most fundamental assumptions about reality. We must journey further to fully grasp the picture and how it affects our lives and beliefs. First, consider the observer effect in quantum physics. How does the very act of watching something change what it is? It's not just a passive observation. It's an active participation in shaping reality. Think about the famous double-slit experiment. When physicists observe which slit a particle passes through, it behaves like a particle. But when they don't observe, it behaves like a wave exhibiting interference patterns. It's as if the particle knows it's being watched and changes its behavior accordingly. This is not about equipment error or bad data. This is fundamental physics. Could this imply that consciousness itself plays a role in collapsing the wave function and bringing reality into being? And if consciousness is somehow fundamental to existence, is it possible to harness our awareness and intention to manipulate reality itself? It's a profound question that challenges our conventional understanding of cause and effect. It also makes you think of the CIA's interest in controlling that potential. Next, let's consider the mind-bending concepts of non-locality and quantum entanglement. These phenomena defy our everyday intuitions about space and time. Imagine two entangled particles linked together in such a way that they instantaneously affect each other, no matter how far apart they are. Change the state of one particle, and the other particle instantly mirrors that change, even if they're on opposite sides of the universe. Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance, because it seemed to violate the speed of light, the ultimate speed limit in the universe. What does this tell us about the nature of reality? What does it imply about the interconnectedness of everything? If particles can be connected across vast distances, could consciousness also operate in a non-local way? Could this explain the phenomenon of remote viewing, the ability to access information from anywhere in the universe, seemingly without the use of physical senses? Is our consciousness linked at the quantum level? Let's turn to the fractal nature of reality and how it reinforces this idea of interconnectedness. A fractal is a pattern that repeats itself at different scales, from the smallest to the largest. Think of a snowflake, a fern, or a coastline. Zoom in, and you'll see the same basic pattern repeated again and again. Some researchers and scientists believe this fractal pattern extends to the structure of the universe itself, from the arrangement of galaxies to the branching of neurons in our brains. What does this suggest about the underlying unity of all things? Could it be that everything in the universe is interconnected, part of a single, self-similar pattern? If so, then perhaps our consciousness is not separate from the universe, but rather an integral part of it, a microcosm reflecting the macrocosm. And perhaps, with the correct understanding and knowledge, we can learn to influence it as well. Finally, consider the holographic universe theory. The universe is not what it seems, not solid or objective. Instead, it's a projection from a two-dimensional surface, much like a hologram. This theory challenges our perception of depth and dimensionality suggesting that our physical world is an illusion, a carefully constructed representation of something far more fundamental. Imagine a hologram of a rose. It appears to be a three-dimensional object, but it's actually encoded on a two-dimensional surface. The holographic universe theory suggests that our entire reality may be like that rose, a projection from a deeper, more fundamental level of existence. How does this connect to the gateway process? Perhaps the gateway process allows us to decode the holographic projection to access the underlying information that creates our reality. So, how can you begin to explore these mind-bending concepts for yourself? How can you put these ideas into practice and experience the nature of reality firsthand? Let's move from theory to practice and help provide some direction into that exploration of understanding. One powerful tool is mindfulness and meditation. Even a simple practice of focusing on your breath and observing your thoughts without judgment can help you become more aware of your own consciousness and its potential to shape your experience. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and simply pay attention to the sensation of your breath as it enters and leaves your body. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them without getting carried away. Let them pass like clouds in the sky. This simple practice can help you quiet the mental chatter and connect with a deeper level of awareness. By observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, you can begin to see how your own consciousness shapes your experience of reality. Another powerful tool is dream journaling and lucid dreaming. Keep a journal by your bed and write down your dreams as soon as you wake up. Look for recurring themes, symbols, and emotions. As you become more aware of your dreams, you can begin to explore techniques for lucid dreaming, where you become aware that you are dreaming and can consciously control your dream experiences. There are many techniques for inducing lucidity, such as reality checks, where you ask yourself, "Am I dreaming?" and look for clues, such as inconsistencies in your environment or the ability to fly. Lucid dreaming can be a powerful tool for exploring the nature of consciousness and creating alternative realities. In your dreams, you can defy the laws of physics, meet with deceased loved ones, and explore the deepest recesses of your mind. It's a playground for consciousness, a place where you can experiment with the nature of reality without any real-world consequences. Consider also sensory deprivation and flotation therapy. Flotation therapy involves lying in a tank of salt water in complete darkness and silence. This reduces external stimuli, allowing the mind to turn inward and explore deeper levels of awareness. Without the constant bombardment of sensory information, the mind can enter a state of deep relaxation and heightened creativity. Some people report experiencing altered states of consciousness, out-of-body experiences, and profound spiritual insights during flotation therapy. It's a way to temporarily disconnect from the physical world and explore the inner landscape of your mind. Finally, engage in creative visualization. This involves using your imagination to create mental images of your desired future. Visualize yourself achieving your goals, experiencing joy, and living your best life. Focus on the emotions associated with these images and allow yourself to feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement as if you were already living your desired future. This practice can help you harness the power of your consciousness to shape your reality. By focusing your attention and intention on your desired outcome, you can begin to attract those experiences into your life. Is it magic? Maybe not, but it's a powerful tool for creating positive change. If we entertain the simulation theory, we must also ask ourselves, what is the nature of the programmer? Is it a benevolent creator, a neutral intelligence, or a malevolent controller? Are we living in a carefully designed paradise, a meaningless game, or a prison designed to keep us enslaved? The answers to these questions are far from clear, but they force us to confront the fundamental nature of existence and our place within it. If we are living in a simulation, then who created it, and what is their purpose? Are they watching us, experimenting on us, or simply letting us play out our roles? But perhaps we are not simply passive players within the simulation. Perhaps we have the ability to influence or even rewrite the code. Could our collective consciousness shape reality, altering the very fabric of the simulation? What if our intentions, our thoughts, and our emotions have a direct impact on the world around us? If this is true, then we have far more power than we realize. We are not merely puppets on a string, but co-creators of our reality. This idea is both empowering and terrifying. It means that we are responsible for the world we create, both individually and collectively. And what about breaking free from the simulation altogether? Is it even possible to transcend the limitations of our perceived reality and access a higher level of existence? What would that even look like? Would we wake up in another dimension, another reality, or simply cease to exist? The concept of enlightenment, spiritual awakening, or ascension often involves transcending the limitations of the ego and realizing our true nature as interconnected beings. Perhaps this is the ultimate escape from the simulation, a return to the source from which we came. And consider the CIA's research. Were they in some way seeking ways to manipulate or escape the simulation themselves? It's a tantalizing possibility that adds another layer of intrigue to their investigations. These questions also raise some profound ethical implications. Is it right to manipulate or control a simulated reality, even if it's for the greater good? What are the potential consequences of tampering with the fabric of reality? If the gateway process and remote viewing can be used to control or manipulate others, is that ethical? These are complex questions that demand careful consideration. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of consciousness and reality, we must also grapple with the ethical responsibilities that come with such knowledge. What awaits us as we continue this investigation? What new insights will we uncover as we explore the intersection of government research, consciousness, and the very nature of reality? Now, consider this. If our reality is indeed more malleable than we previously understood, what other long-held scientific assumptions might be up for re-evaluation? What if some of the most perplexing scientific enigmas aren't failures of our models, but glimpses into the underlying code of the simulation, or evidence of consciousness interacting with reality in ways we have yet to fully comprehend? Instances where experiments yield results inconsistent with established scientific models could be viewed not as problems, but as opportunities to peer beyond the veil. Take, for instance, the placebo effect. It's often dismissed as a mere psychological quirk, a nuisance to researchers trying to test the efficacy of new drugs. But what if it's actually a demonstration of the power of belief to directly influence physical reality? Study after study has shown that patients receiving a placebo can experience significant improvements in their condition, whether it's pain management, depression, or even physical ailments. The mind, it seems, has a remarkable capacity to heal the body, sometimes even more effectively than conventional medicine. Could the CIA have been interested in harnessing this power of belief, perhaps for mind control or accelerated healing? And what does this say about our assumptions regarding the separation of mind and body? Think also of spontaneous remission, the seemingly miraculous disappearance of diseases like cancer without any conventional medical intervention. These cases defy explanation, baffling doctors and challenging our understanding of the disease process. Is it simply a matter of the body's innate healing abilities kicking into high gear? Or could it be something more, perhaps the result of a shift in consciousness, a surge of positive energy, or even intervention from some unknown source? Such occurrences suggest that our beliefs and emotions can directly impact our physical health, perhaps even to the point of revering seemingly irreversible conditions. The implications are staggering, hinting at the boundless potential of the human spirit and the limitations of our current scientific paradigm. But the power of the mind cuts both ways, as evidenced by the nocebo effect. Just as positive expectations can improve health outcomes, negative expectations can worsen them. Research has demonstrated that negative suggestions can lead to increased pain, anxiety, and a host of other adverse effects. If someone believes a treatment will be harmful, they are more likely to experience negative side effects, even if the treatment is actually inert. This phenomenon highlights the potential dangers of mind control and the importance of cultivating a positive mindset. What if our thoughts and beliefs are not just passive reflections of reality, but active forces that shape it, for better or for worse? This exploration brings us to a crucial turning point. Are the CIA's motives purely scientific? Were they merely interested in exploring the mysteries of consciousness for the sake of knowledge? Or did their agenda extend beyond mere exploration, venturing into the realm of potential weaponization? Perhaps the CIA was not just mapping the terrain of consciousness, but seeking to control it, to harness its power for espionage, mind control, or other covert operations. The gateway process, with its ability to induce altered states of consciousness, and remote viewing, with its potential for accessing information from afar, could be seen as tools for manipulating reality, bending it to the will of those in power. Consider the chilling possibility of mind control. What if the techniques developed through the gateway process and remote viewing could be used to manipulate people's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without their knowledge or consent? It's not just science fiction. History is replete with examples of governments and organizations attempting to control the minds of their citizens, from the MK Ultra program to the propaganda campaigns of totalitarian regimes. If our beliefs and expectations can shape our reality, then those who control our beliefs and expectations control our reality. The very idea is chilling. Another way to look at this is reality programming, the subtle and not so subtle ways in which our beliefs and expectations are shaped by external forces. The media, advertising, education system, all of these institutions play a role in shaping our perceptions of the world, often without us even realizing it. Are we truly free to think for ourselves, or are we merely products of our conditioning, programmed to believe certain things, to desire certain things, and to behave in certain ways? If so, then who are the programmers, and what is their agenda? It might be uncomfortable to think about, but important all the same. What if the CIA's research wasn't just about understanding consciousness, but about understanding and manipulating the underlying rules of our reality, about controlling the simulation itself? Perhaps they were seeking to exploit glitches in the system, to bend the laws of physics, or even to rewrite the code of reality. Consider the possibilities. Could altered states of consciousness be used to influence events, to predict the future, or even to travel through time? Could remote viewing be used to spy on enemies, to manipulate markets, or even to control the thoughts of others? It's a disturbing thought, but one that we must confront if we are to truly understand the implications of the CIA's research. But if our reality is a simulation, then perhaps there are ways to hack the system, to exploit its loopholes and create desired outcomes. The power of intention, visualization, and affirmation to manifest goals and change one's reality. It might sound like New Age fluff, but what if it's actually a form of reality hacking, a way of manipulating the code of the simulation? By focusing our thoughts and emotions on our desired outcome, we may be able to influence the underlying matrix, bending reality to our will. Let us examine the impact of belief systems and how understanding and reshaping those belief systems can allow for control over how one experiences reality. Consider that the beliefs we hold, often unconsciously, shape our perceptions, our actions, and ultimately our reality. If we believe we are limited, powerless, or unworthy, then we will experience a reality that reflects those beliefs. However, if we can identify these disempowering beliefs and replace them with positive, empowering ones, we can begin to create a different reality for ourselves. But how does one identify and change these limiting beliefs? Start by paying attention to your thoughts and feelings. What negative thoughts do you frequently have about yourself, your abilities, or your future? What situations trigger these thoughts? Once you've identified these negative thought patterns, challenge their validity. Are they based on facts, or are they based on assumptions, fears, or past experiences? Often, you'll find that these beliefs are not actually true, but simply ingrained habits of thinking. Finally, replace these negative beliefs with positive affirmations. Choose affirmations that resonate with you and repeat them regularly, both mentally and verbally. The key is to focus on the positive outcome and to believe that it is possible. Another intriguing aspect of the simulation theory is the idea of glitches in the matrix, unexplained anomalies that may indicate the simulated nature of our reality. Consider instances of déjà vu, those eerie moments when you feel like you've experienced something before, even though you know you haven't. Or synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem too improbable to be random. Or even unexplained disappearances, like the vanishing of Jacobo Grinberg himself. Could these be signs that the simulation is faltering, that the code is breaking down, or that something is interfering with the program? The possibilities are exciting, especially with techniques for influencing the simulation. Focused intention, emotional resonance, and quantum jumping could be the keys to unlocking our full potential. By consciously directing our thoughts and energy toward a specific outcome, we can begin to manifest our desires. By aligning our emotions with the desired outcome, we can amplify its manifestation, creating a powerful resonance that attracts it into our reality. And by shifting our consciousness to an alternate reality where the desired outcome already exists, we can experience it as if it is real, effectively downloading that reality into our own. However, what if the simulation is not meant to be manipulated? What if our attempts to hack the system are actually playing into the hands of those who control it? What if the true path to freedom lies not in manipulating the simulation, but in disrupting it, in breaking free from its control? Therefore, we must shift our focus from manipulating the simulation to disrupting it, suggesting that individuals can take steps to break free from its control. That means critical thinking, questioning authority, and challenging conventional beliefs. It means becoming aware of the ways in which our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are being manipulated and taking steps to reclaim our own minds. Let us explore, then, some ways we might raise our consciousness and expanding our awareness. Meditation and mindfulness, for instance, allows us to become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations. Through regular practice, we can learn to observe our minds without judgment, to see our thoughts as passing events rather than as fixed realities. Self-inquiry, a process of questioning our beliefs, assumptions, and conditioning, can help us uncover hidden patterns and limitations. By asking ourselves questions like, what do I believe to be true about myself and the world? We can begin to identify the unconscious beliefs that are shaping our reality. Think also of the importance of connecting with nature. Spending time in the natural world can help us reconnect with our senses, to gain a broader perspective on life, and to remember our interconnectedness with all living things. Another way to look at this is the power of collective consciousness. What if a critical mass of awakened individuals could create a shift in reality? Mass movements, protests, and social activism all demonstrate the power of collective action to challenge the status quo and create change. What if our collective intentions, our collective thoughts, and our collective emotions could shape the future of our world? And finally, let's consider the importance of personal responsibility and empowerment. Each of us has the power to choose our beliefs, our thoughts, and our actions. These choices have a profound impact on our reality. By taking responsibility for our own lives, by choosing to focus on the positive, and by taking action to create a better world, we can become active participants in shaping our own destiny, as well as the destiny of the world around us. Where will this investigation lead us next? Let's delve deeper into the realm of altered states of consciousness, a territory not solely explored within the confines of CIA experiments. For millennia, shamans and indigenous cultures across the globe have navigated these states, using them for healing, divination, and connection to the spirit world. In a sense, the CIA's explorations can be seen as a rediscovery, albeit through a different lens, of techniques known to humanity for ages. Consider the rhythmic drumming and chanting of shamans, practices designed to induce trance states and facilitate journeys to other realms. Think of the plant medicine ceremonies, like ayahuasca and psilocybin rituals, which open the doors of perception and allow for profound spiritual experiences. These ancient practices, often involving sensory deprivation or intense focus, mirror in some ways the techniques employed in the gateway process. Could binaural beats be seen as a modern form of shamanic drumming, both aiming to synchronize brainwaves and induce altered states? Is hemispheric synchronization, achieved through meditation, not akin to the shaman's journey to balance the spiritual and physical realms? And might the gateway experience itself be compared to the out-of-body experiences induced by plant medicines, both offering glimpses into realities beyond our everyday perception? However, the purposes behind these explorations diverge significantly. In indigenous cultures, altered states are often used for healing, diagnosing illnesses by communicating with spirits, or locating lost objects by traversing different dimensions. The shaman acts as a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, maintaining balance within the community. In contrast, the CIA's objectives, at least as far as we can discern, appear to be geared toward espionage, mind control, and potentially manipulating the very fabric of reality. This raises a critical question. Does the intent behind the exploration of consciousness shape the reality that is revealed? Can the same tools be used for both healing and harm, depending on the user's intentions? And what are the potential dangers and benefits of venturing into these altered states? There are inherent risks of psychosis, dissociation, and spiritual bypassing, psychological pitfalls that can arise from intense experiences without proper guidance or integration. A prolonged period of sensory deprivation, for example, while potentially unlocking new insights, could also lead to disorientation and mental instability. Similarly, intense psychedelic experiences, without a solid foundation of self-awareness and emotional regulation, could trigger trauma or exacerbate existing mental health conditions. Yet, approached responsibly and with proper guidance, altered states can also unlock enhanced creativity, heightened intuition, and profound spiritual growth, offering a pathway to self-discovery and transformation. This demands ethical consideration. Now, let's shift our focus to another intriguing concept that might shed light on the CIA's findings: the Akashic Records. Imagine a universal database, a cosmic library containing every thought, word, and deed that has ever occurred, a record of all that has been, is, and ever will be. This is the essence of the Akashic Records, a concept that appears in various spiritual traditions throughout history. Hindus speak of the Book of Life, Buddhists of the collective unconscious, and Theosophists of the cosmic mind, all referring to a similar repository of universal knowledge. Even Edgar Cayce, the famous American psychic, claimed to access the Akashic Records during his readings, providing detailed information about past lives, future events, and the nature of reality. Could this be the explanation behind the accuracy of remote viewing? Perhaps remote viewers are not simply tapping into some psychic ability, but are actually accessing this universal database, subconsciously drawing information from the Akashic Records. In this model, remote viewing is not a talent, but a subconscious accessing of a universal data system. What if every location, every event, every thought leaves an imprint on this cosmic record, and skilled individuals can learn to decipher these imprints, tapping into the vast reservoir of knowledge contained within? If this is the case, then the implications are staggering. Does it mean that our lives are predetermined, written in the Akashic Records like a script? Or do we have the ability to change our future, to rewrite the story of our lives by altering the information contained within this cosmic library? Could our choices ripple through the Akashic Records, creating new possibilities and altering the course of destiny? Or is time itself an illusion? If all moments are simultaneously recorded in the Akashic records, then the past, present, and future exist as one, blurring the lines between cause and effect. This brings us to the perplexing realm of quantum entanglement, a phenomenon that Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance. At its core, quantum entanglement suggests that two particles can become linked in such a way that they instantaneously affect each other, regardless of the distance separating them. Imagine two coins flipped at the same time, but instead of landing on heads or tails independently, they always land on opposite sides. Even if these coins are separated by vast distances, the moment one lands on heads, the other instantly lands on tails. This is, in essence, how quantum entanglement works. But how does this relate to the CIA's remote viewing experiments? Could there be a connection between quantum entanglement and the ability to access information from afar? Is it possible that remote viewers are somehow entangling their consciousness with the person or place they are trying to view, establishing a quantum connection that transcends space and time? Consider a hypothetical experiment. A remote viewer is placed in a shielded room, while a target individual is located thousands of miles away. If the remote viewer and the target are somehow quantumly entangled, then the remote viewer might be able to access information about the target through this quantum connection, bypassing the limitations of classical physics. This leads us to the measurement problem in quantum physics, which questions how quantum possibilities collapse into definite realities upon observation. In the quantum world, particles exist in a state of superposition, meaning they can be in multiple states at once until they are observed. It's like Schrödinger's cat, trapped in a box, which is both dead and alive until the box is opened and the cat is observed. But what determines when and how this collapse occurs? Some theories propose that consciousness itself plays a role in the quantum measurement process, suggesting that the act of conscious observation influences the collapse of quantum possibilities. This is a key concept, the observer as a key component in reality manifestation. Imagine if consciousness is not merely a passive observer of reality, but an active participant in shaping it. Now, let's expand our perspective even further by exploring the multiverse theory. What if our universe is not the only one, but merely one of countless others existing side by side in a vast, infinite expanse? This is the essence of the multiverse theory, a concept that has gained traction in the world of physics, with different types of multiverses proposed. There's the Manuel's interpretation of quantum mechanics, which suggests that every quantum measurement causes the universe to split into multiple parallel universes, each representing a different possible outcome. Then there's the inflationary multiverse, which proposes that our universe is just one bubble in a vast sea of other bubble universes, constantly expanding and colliding with each other. And finally, there's brain cosmology, which suggests that our universe is just one brain floating in a higher dimensional space, alongside other brains representing other universes. Given these ideas, can remote viewing and the gateway process allow access to information from alternate realities within the multiverse? Could an individual jump from one reality to another? Perhaps remote viewers are tapping into alternate versions of themselves or other individuals in different realities, accessing information that is not available in our own universe. Or perhaps the gateway process is a tool for shifting our consciousness to an alternate reality where our desired outcome already exists. But what are the implications of the multiverse theory for personal choice and destiny? Does it mean that our choices create branching timelines, leading to an infinite number of possible realities? Or are we simply experiencing different versions of ourselves in parallel universes, each living out a different life? This has led to reality shifting, a modern internet subculture of people attempting to consciously project themselves into other realities. Users propose different approaches to reality shifting, such as the Raven method, the Pillow method, and the Train method. It's fascinating to compare those reality-shifting methods to traditional remote viewing and ask whether reality shifting a modern iteration of ancient techniques. This exploration leads us to a powerful conclusion. Our beliefs shape our reality. What you believe about yourself, about the world, and about your potential directly influences your experiences. Our beliefs act as filters through which we perceive and interact with reality. For instance, if you believe that the world is a dangerous and hostile place, you will likely perceive threats and negativity everywhere you look, reinforcing your belief. The CIA was potentially trying to manipulate this understanding of beliefs. This is the self-fulfilling prophecy in action, where our beliefs directly influence our actions and outcomes. If you believe you are capable of achieving great things, you are more likely to take risks, persevere through challenges, and ultimately succeed. However, it's not enough to simply hold positive beliefs. We must also identify and change our limiting beliefs, those deeply ingrained negative beliefs that hold us back from reaching our full potential. These beliefs, often formed in childhood or through traumatic experiences, can manifest as negative self-talk, feelings of unworthiness, and a lack of motivation. Limiting beliefs lead to stagnation, anxiety, and even depression. Consider these questions to self-assess and identify whether a belief is helpful or harmful. Does this belief empower me or disempower me? Does this belief promote growth and well-being, or does it create fear and limitation? Once you have identified your limiting beliefs, you can begin to challenge their validity and replace them with more empowering ones. One approach is to examine the evidence supporting the belief. Is there actual proof that the belief is true, or is it simply an assumption based on past experiences? Another approach is to reframe the belief, looking at it from a different perspective. Instead of seeing yourself as a failure, for example, you might reframe the experience as a learning opportunity. Finally, you can replace the limiting belief with a positive affirmation, a statement that affirms your desired reality. Repeat this affirmation regularly, both mentally and verbally, until it becomes ingrained in your subconscious mind. Returning to the CIA's legacy in light of this knowledge, we must ask ourselves, what are the ethical implications of exploring these realms of consciousness? While the pursuit of knowledge is valuable, it must be tempered with responsibility and accountability. The CIA's findings, particularly regarding altered states and remote viewing, could be misused for manipulation, control, and even harm. Avenues for manipulation could arise through a reframing of altered states, for example. It is crucial to acknowledge the dangers of unchecked power and secrecy within government agencies, referencing historical examples of government abuses of power and manipulation to the detriment of populations they're meant to serve. Transparency and accountability in scientific research are paramount, especially when it involves potentially sensitive or controversial topics. Ethical oversight boards and public access to research data are vital safeguards against abuse. Finally, we must emphasize the importance of personal empowerment, urging each individual to take responsibility for their own consciousness and to resist external attempts at manipulation or control. It is through critical thinking, questioning authority, and cultivating inner strength that we can navigate this complex landscape and create a future where consciousness is explored with wisdom, compassion, and respect. So how can each of us contribute to a more conscious world? But with great power comes great responsibility, or so the saying goes. And if the CIA uncovered ways to manipulate consciousness and reality itself, what measures were put in place to ensure this knowledge wasn't misused? It's a question that leads us to a potentially unsettling truth. Much of what the CIA learned about consciousness and the nature of reality has likely been suppressed, hidden from the public eye. Is it possible that some discoveries are considered too dangerous, too revolutionary for widespread understanding? Consider the implications of mass awareness of remote viewing capabilities. A world where privacy is non-existent, where thoughts can be read and secrets are laid bare. Or consider the power of targeted affirmations weaponized against a population. A constant subliminal messaging reshaping beliefs and behaviors on a global scale. So why would such knowledge be kept from us? One possibility is fear of social disruption. If the masses truly understood the malleable nature of reality, would societal structures crumble? Would people lose faith in institutions, question authority, and abandon the norms that hold society together? Perhaps the powers that be believe that a controlled narrative, even if false, is necessary to maintain order. Another motive could be strategic advantage. Imagine a nation that could harness the power of remote viewing for espionage, or the gateway process for advanced military training. Such a nation would possess a significant edge over its rivals, capable of gathering intelligence, influencing enemy actions, and dominating the global stage. And we can't ignore the protection of vested interests. Our existing scientific, religious, and governing bodies have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. Knowledge that challenges the foundations of these institutions could threaten their power and influence. If consciousness transcends the physical brain, what becomes of established neuroscience? If reality is a simulation, what becomes of traditional physics? If we are all interconnected, what becomes of hierarchical power structures? But how is this knowledge suppressed? The most obvious method is classification. By labeling research findings as top secret, access is restricted to a select few, preventing the information from reaching the public domain. Consider the sheer volume of classified documents related to the Stargate project, the CIA's remote viewing program. How much of that information remains hidden, locked away in government vaults? Another method is disinformation. By spreading false or misleading information, the agency can discredit or confuse the public, making it difficult to discern truth from fiction. This sows doubt and skepticism, discouraging people from pursuing alternative sources of information. And then there's co-option. By recruiting or co-opting researchers and academics, the CIA can control the flow of information, steering research in certain directions while suppressing others. Consider the influence of funding on academic research. Are scientists free to explore any avenue of inquiry, or are they subtly guided by the interests of their financial backers? This leads us to a critical juncture. The need to question authority. Don't blindly accept what you're told, whether it comes from the government, the media, or even scientific experts. Seek out alternative sources of information, do your own research, and come to your own conclusions. And in the face of such potential forces, recognize that you are not merely a passive recipient of reality. You are the architect. Based on suppressed scientific findings, ancient shamanism, and even the implications of quantum physics, our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions wield immense power in shaping our reality. Remember the double-slit experiment. The act of observation fundamentally alters the behavior of quantum particles. Now, consider that your intentions and beliefs act as a constant form of observation, shaping the very fabric of your existence. Are you passively accepting a pre-programmed reality, or are you actively co-creating your world? This ties into the concept of the law of attraction, the principle that like attracts like. This isn't about magical thinking or wishful fantasies. It's about the subtle energy of your focus. If you dwell on negativity, fear, and lack, you will likely attract more of the same into your life. Conversely, if you focus on positivity, gratitude, and abundance, you will create a fertile ground for those things to manifest. Imagine two people facing the same challenge. One focuses on the obstacles, the potential for failure, and the overwhelming odds. The other focuses on the opportunities, the potential for growth, and the unwavering belief in their ability to succeed. Which person is more likely to achieve a positive outcome? So, how can you harness this power to create the life you desire? Start with visualization. Create a vivid mental image of your desired outcome, immersing yourself in the sights, sounds, and emotions of that reality. Regularly focus on that image, allowing it to become ingrained in your subconscious mind. Then, practice affirmations. Repeat positive statements about your desired outcome, reinforcing your belief in its possibility. I am worthy of love. I am capable of achieving my goals. I am abundant in all areas of my life. Let these words resonate within you, transforming your inner landscape, and never underestimate the power of gratitude. Express gratitude for what you already have, acknowledging the abundance that already exists in your life. This shifts your focus from lack to abundance, opening the door for even more blessings to flow your way. Keep a gratitude journal, write thank you notes, or simply take a moment each day to appreciate the good things in your life. All of this demands personal responsibility. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the co-creator of your reality. Take ownership of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, and use them to shape a positive future for yourself and others. Don't wait for someone else to fix your problems or create your happiness. Step into your power, embrace your potential, and become the architect of your own destiny. But to truly transcend the limitations of our perceived reality, we must delve deeper, accessing higher states of consciousness. Altered states of consciousness are a key to unlocking a deeper understanding of reality and expanding our consciousness, echoed across countless traditions. These states offer a glimpse beyond the veil of our everyday perceptions, revealing hidden dimensions and untapped potential. They allow us to see past our limitations, experience ego death and rebirth, and connect with a sense of universal consciousness. Meditation and mindfulness are powerful tools for accessing these higher states. By quieting the mind, increasing awareness, and cultivating inner peace, we can create a space for profound insights and transformative experiences. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Observe your thoughts without judgment, letting them pass like clouds in the sky. With regular practice, you'll find that the mind becomes calmer, the awareness sharper, and the connection to your inner self deeper. As your focus improves, you'll not only reduce stress, but improve your focus and cultivate inner peace. Then there's holotropic breathwork, a method for inducing altered states through deep, rapid breathing, evocative music, and focused attention. This technique, developed by psychiatrist Stanislav Grof, can lead to powerful non-ordinary states of consciousness, allowing for emotional release, trauma healing, and spiritual exploration. Now, it's crucial to emphasize that holotropic breathwork is essentially controlled hyperventilation and is not inherently safe. It should only be practiced with a trained facilitator who can provide guidance and support. But with proper supervision, holotropic breathwork can be a powerful tool for accessing deeper levels of consciousness. Never underestimate the power of connecting with nature. Spending time in natural environments can quiet the mind, reduce stress, and foster a sense of connection to something larger than ourselves. Go for a hike in the mountains, camp under the stars, tend to a garden, or simply spend time in a park or forest. Breathe in the fresh air, listen to the sounds of nature, and allow yourself to be fully present in the moment. Nature has a way of reminding us of our interconnectedness and our place within the grand scheme of things. By spending time in nature, we will inevitably find a deeper connection with the world and even higher states of consciousness. The CIA's research into consciousness raises profound ethical considerations. The potential for misuse and manipulation is undeniable, demanding a responsible and discerning approach. With the potential for mind control, reality programming, and the dangers of unchecked power, we must always stay vigilant. Information about consciousness and reality requires a critical mind. Question assumptions, seek multiple perspectives, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Develop your own ethical compass, using critical thinking to evaluate sources, identify biases, and separate fact from fiction. What is the agenda of the person sharing the information? What evidence supports their claims? Are they presenting a balanced perspective, or are they trying to persuade you to believe something without question? Ultimately, trust your intuition and inner guidance. This can be a valuable tool for navigating complex situations and making ethical choices. Pay attention to your gut feelings, your intuitive hunches, and the subtle whispers of your inner voice. These can provide valuable insights that your rational mind might miss. Does this information resonate with your values? Does it feel aligned with your sense of truth? Or does it trigger a sense of unease or discomfort? Balance personal empowerment with responsible action. You can use your knowledge and abilities to create a more positive future for yourself and others. Share what you've learned with others, support ethical research initiatives, and advocate for transparency and accountability in government and science. By approaching consciousness research with wisdom, compassion, and a deep sense of responsibility, we can navigate this path ethically. This is a path to not only our personal empowerment, but a more positive future for everyone. But the journey continues, with even more to learn about consciousness. Keep watching. 28. The Gateway Process, REVALED. Beyond OBEs, the altered states we've been discussing are far more than simple out-of-body excursions, as the CIA's Gateway Process makes abundantly clear. The declassified documents and alleged leaked reports hint at a purpose far grander than mere astral projection, suggesting a deep dive into understanding and potentially manipulating the very fabric of reality. Are we talking about the potential to rewrite the rules of physics to bend reality to our will? The Gateway Process, at its core, seems to be about understanding the underlying energy matrices, the subtle, vibrational patterns that govern our universe, painting a picture of a holographic existence waiting to be decoded. Imagine reality as a complex symphony of energy, with each note, each vibration, contributing to the overall composition. The Gateway Process appears to have been designed to not just listen to the music, but to potentially conduct it. But how does one even begin to grasp such an immense concept? Well, it starts with the Gateway Assessment Technique, the original system designed to essentially hack the human mind. Think of it as a sophisticated algorithm capable of analyzing an individual's consciousness and identifying their unique potential, their strengths and vulnerabilities. Consider its modern parallels. The personality tests used by corporations to determine career paths, the psychological profiles used by marketers to target specific demographics. Now, amplify that model, enhance it with the resources of the CIA, and you begin to understand its possible applications for determining espionage capabilities, for identifying individuals predisposed to remote viewing, or those capable of influencing others through subtle energy manipulation. The Gateway Assessment may have been the key to unlocking the human mind's untapped potential for espionage, for bending the rules of what we consider possible. This leads us to the most intriguing and perhaps most unsettling aspect of the Gateway Process, the CIA's potential interest in reality creation. The documents suggest that the process may have been designed to enable individuals to consciously create their own reality. By altering their vibrational patterns, aligning themselves with desired outcomes, and tapping into the latent power of belief, could individuals literally manifest their intentions into existence? Imagine being able to consciously shape your life, bending reality to your will, creating the outcomes you desire. It's a concept straight out of science fiction, but the CIA's research suggests it may be far closer to reality than we think. What intended realities could one create by manipulating the strings of the universe? But let's not shy away from the darker implications of such power. If the CIA was indeed researching reality creation, what were their intentions? Could these techniques be weaponized? Could they be used for social manipulation, subtly influencing the beliefs and behaviors of entire populations? Imagine a world where governments could rewrite history, alter memories, and control the narrative of reality itself. Or consider the potential for individual psychological warfare. Could these techniques be used to destabilize enemies, to shatter their sense of self, and to render them powerless? 29. ANALYZING, NEARDATH, EXPRINCES. What do they really tell us? While near-death experiences are often dismissed as mere anecdotes, figments of a dying brain, there's a growing body of statistical research painting a far more complex picture. These experiences share common themes, transcending cultures, religions, and backgrounds. Are these similarities simply coincidental, or do they point to a deeper, universal truth about the nature of consciousness and what happens after death? Studies analyzing thousands of NDE accounts have identified the most frequently reported elements, such as the tunnel of light, the life review, and the feeling of unconditional love. But the raw data is only the first step. The real challenge lies in interpreting what these recurring themes mean. Materialist explanations attempt to reduce NDEs to purely physical phenomena, attributing them to brain hypoxia, drug-induced hallucinations, or the release of endorphins. But such explanations often fall short in the face of compelling evidence. How do we explain the fact that many NDE experiencers report clear and coherent memories of events that occurred while their brains were clinically dead? There are numerous cases of individuals accurately describing conversations, medical procedures, or even events happening outside their physical bodies while they were seemingly unconscious. This leads to the afterlife hypothesis, the suggestion that NDEs provide evidence for the survival of consciousness after death and the existence of a spiritual realm. This isn't to say that NDEs are definitive proof of an afterlife, but they offer a tantalizing glimpse into the possibilities that lie beyond our physical existence. They challenge our conventional understanding of death, consciousness, and the very nature of reality. If consciousness can exist independently of the brain, what does that mean for our understanding of self? What does it mean for our understanding of the universe? Perhaps the most striking aspect of NDEs is the recurring theme of love and connection. Virtually all experiencers report an overwhelming feeling of unconditional love, acceptance, and interconnectedness. They describe a sense of unity with all things, a realization that we are all part of a larger cosmic whole. I was enveloped in a love that I had never known existed, one experiencer recounted. It was as if every cell in my body was vibrating with pure, unadulterated love. What does this tell us about the true nature of reality? Is love the fundamental force that governs the universe, the underlying fabric that connects us all? 30. The simulation paradox. Who are we really? The CIA's research, coupled with the compelling evidence from NDEs, forces us to revisit the simulation theory. Is it possible that our reality is not what it seems, that we are living in a meticulously crafted simulation? And if so, what are the implications for our understanding of self, purpose, and the very nature of existence? Perhaps the CIA's experiments with remote viewing, consciousness, and the gateway process were, in part, an attempt to understand the code, to find the cracks in the facade of our simulated reality. Consider the Gnostic perspective, an ancient philosophical and spiritual tradition that viewed the material world as a flawed or imperfect creation, a prison created by a malevolent force. In this view, we are trapped within a simulation, manipulated by a false creator god, the Demiurge, who keeps humanity in a state of ignorance and suffering. Could the controllers of our simulated reality be intentionally obscuring our true potential, keeping us enslaved to the illusion of separation and limitation? Is it possible that the world's religions, governments, and institutions are merely tools of the Demiurge, designed to perpetuate our imprisonment? If our reality is indeed a simulation, then self-discovery, inner awareness, and critical thinking become more important than ever. We must learn to question everything, to challenge the accepted norms, and to seek our own truth. By cultivating inner awareness, we can begin to see through the illusions of the simulation, recognizing the patterns and the programming that shape our thoughts and beliefs. If we can transcend the illusion, we may discover our true potential, our ability to manipulate the very fabric of our simulated reality. Ultimately, the journey is not about escaping the simulation, but about awakening to our true nature within it. No matter what reality we find ourselves in, whether it's a physical world, a simulated construct, or something beyond our comprehension, we are all sparks of the original flame of creation, the God within. The question becomes, will you continue to live as a program or discover your divine nature and write your own code? 31. Quantum consciousness and the observer effect. A shift in reality now. Let's weave together the threads of quantum physics, ancient wisdom traditions, and the CIA's research. What emerges is a cohesive narrative about the nature of reality, our place within it, and the incredible power we possess to shape our own destiny. Quantum entanglement, the phenomenon where two particles become linked regardless of distance, mirrors the interconnectedness emphasized in countless spiritual practices for millennia. What if quantum entanglement is not just a quirk of physics, but a fundamental aspect of reality, reflecting the underlying unity of all things? Central to this synthesis is the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics. This radical concept suggests that for every action, every decision, every quantum event, an infinite number of branching realities or possible timelines exist. It's like turning a page of a book. Each action turns a page, creating a new branch in the story, a new potential reality. Imagine the implications of this for your life. Every choice you make, every thought you have, creates a ripple effect, shaping not only your own reality, but also contributing to the infinite tapestry of possibilities. And here's where the observer effect comes into play. Quantum experiments have demonstrated that the act of observation fundamentally alters the behavior of quantum particles. This suggests that the observer, the conscious mind, is not merely a passive bystander, but an active participant in shaping reality. In other words, the reality you experience is not fixed or predetermined, but rather, it is constantly being shaped by your conscious awareness. You are both passively and actively shaping reality. Consider how mass movements and protests can be viewed as examples of collective observation causing change. The collective consciousness, the shared beliefs and intentions of a large group of people can exert a powerful force on the fabric of reality, shifting power dynamics and transforming social structures. The civil rights movement, for example, demonstrates how observation caused a shift in power and reality and transformed laws. How much more can reality be altered if you become a conscious observer? 32. Synthesis. The CIA's journey into the mystic through their explorations into the gateway process, remote viewing, the subtle realms accessed during near-death experiences, and even the potential of the pineal gland, the CIA embarked on a journey that, while cloaked in the language of science and national security, ultimately led them to rediscover age-old mystical concepts. Their studies echo the fundamental principles of practices like meditation, revealing the potential for altered states of consciousness to unlock profound insights. Remote viewing, with its ability to transcend space and time, mirrors the quantum principle of non-locality, highlighting the interconnectedness of all things. And the recurring themes of unconditional love and interconnectedness found in NDEs resonate deeply with spiritual teachings across cultures and eras. These explorations fundamentally challenged conventional understandings of reality and consciousness, pushing the boundaries of what was deemed possible by mainstream science. For so long, materialism has reigned, leading to the assumption that the mind is merely a product of the brain, a localized phenomenon limited by physical boundaries. Yet, the CIA's own findings suggest that consciousness may be far more expansive, capable of existing independently of the brain, and interacting with reality in ways that defy conventional explanation. This challenges the very foundation upon which much of modern science is built, prompting us to question the true nature of mind and its relationship to the universe. The convergence of the CIA's findings with ancient spiritual concepts unveils a hidden harmony between scientific inquiry and mystical wisdom. The Akashic records, that purported repository of all knowledge and experience, find a parallel in the potential for remote viewers to access information beyond the confines of space and time. The holographic universe, with its implication that each part contains the whole, mirrors the interconnectedness emphasized in countless spiritual traditions. And the power of consciousness to shape reality, a concept central to many esoteric teachings, resonates with the observer effect in quantum physics. This synthesis suggests that the CIA, in its own way, stumbled upon a profound truth, that reality is far more malleable and interconnected than we typically perceive, and that consciousness plays a vital role in its creation. 33. IMPLICATIOS. REDEFINING, human potential. These discoveries have profound implications for how we understand ourselves and our latent potential. We are not simply physical beings, confined to the limitations of our bodies and brains. Instead, we are conscious entities, capable of accessing higher states of awareness, influencing reality with our thoughts and intentions, and connecting with a deeper source of wisdom and power. It invites us to reimagine our capabilities, to entertain the possibility that we are capable of far more than we've been led to believe, that we possess untapped reservoirs of potential waiting to be awakened. This expanded understanding of our capabilities necessitates a shift in our understanding of personal responsibility. If our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions have the power to shape our reality, then we must take ownership of our inner world. We can no longer afford to passively accept the narratives and limitations imposed upon us by society, culture, or even our own self-limiting beliefs. Instead, we must become conscious creators, actively choosing the thoughts we entertain, the beliefs we embrace, and the emotions we cultivate. This is not to say that we are solely responsible for everything that happens in our lives, but it signifies that we have far more agency than we typically realize. Given the knowledge and technologies we've explored here, and those the CIA may have developed, certain ethical considerations must take center stage. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of consciousness and reality creation, we must proceed with caution, guided by a strong moral compass. The potential for misuse is significant, as we've touched on previously with warnings about mind control, reality programming, and the dangers of unchecked power. It is therefore imperative that we use this knowledge responsibly and ethically, with respect for the well-being of all beings. 34. Empowerment. Claiming your CREATORSHIP, the key takeaway is that the power to shape your reality resides within you. This isn't just a comforting platitude, but a profound truth supported by both ancient wisdom and cutting science. Take control of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, for they are the architects of your experience. Harness the power of intention to create a more positive and fulfilling life, aligning yourself with the outcomes you desire. Whether you call it the law of attraction, quantum jumping, or simply conscious creation, the principle remains the same. Your inner world shapes your outer reality. Continue to explore the mysteries of consciousness and the nature of reality. Utilize the tools and techniques we've discussed, such as meditation, mindfulness, dream journaling, and creative visualization, to deepen your understanding and unlock your potential. Seek out resources for further learning, such as books, websites, or workshops on consciousness, quantum physics, and spirituality. Immerse yourself in practices that expand your awareness and connect you with your inner wisdom. Approach this journey with ethical discernment, always questioning assumptions, seeking out multiple perspectives, and trusting your intuition and inner guidance. In a world saturated with information and misinformation, critical thinking is more important than ever. Remember to prioritize love, compassion, and service to others in your actions and intentions. Let your heart be your guide, and let your actions be a reflection of your highest values. 35. The journey continues. A call to awakening. Many questions remain unanswered. Despite the knowledge and technologies humanity has acquired, much remains unknown about the nature of consciousness, the afterlife, and the true nature of reality. The journey of exploration and discovery is ongoing, and it is a journey that each of us must undertake for ourselves. What wonders await us in the realms of quantum biology, the study of subtle energies, or the exploration of different spiritual traditions. Continue seeking out knowledge, experimenting with different techniques, and sharing your experiences with others. Engage in conversations, participate in online communities, and connect with like-minded individuals who share your curiosity and your passion for truth. By sharing our insights and experiences, we can collectively expand our understanding and accelerate our evolution. Let curiosity be your compass, and let your thirst for knowledge be your fuel. So remember, you are not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Embrace your power, claim your creatorship, and embark on this incredible journey of awakening. If this video resonated with you, if it sparked your curiosity and ignited your desire to explore the deeper mysteries of existence, then be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts and experiences. Your engagement helps to foster a sense of community and encourages further exploration of these fascinating topics. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep awakening.